Oh, things are about to get so much cooler. What is going on, you ape Zords? I'm Chris, and today on Nostalgia Dig, we're continuing with bin number 2. I think we're about halfway through at this point. So without further ado, let's dig in. Okay, here we go. Wow. Here we have Jubilee from the X-Men. Looks like a kid's meal situation here. Driving a scooter or motorcycle, and I'm guessing this is her shooting her powers. So yeah, as you roll it, the powers activate a little bit. If you're not aware of Jubilee, you probably are if you're watching this station, but she's a young member of the X-Men who can shoot like fireworks out of her hands, basically. And what you might not know if you don't read the comics is that she became a vampire for a while and then was cured of being a vampire. And she has a child who is also a dragon. Interesting character. But this is a funny toy because where are her legs? Is she like Superman style riding this little motorcycle and her legs are in here? Or did they just not put legs on because they couldn't figure it out? I don't know. But that is a funny toy. I told you I love these little superheroes on vehicles that are themed after themselves. This doesn't quite fit that bill because it's not really a themed vehicle, but it is a superhero on a vehicle. So I'm not sure if it belongs in that collection, but it's definitely close. It's adjacent to that collection. And I'm glad I own this very weird Jubilee with her X-branded helmet. Yeah, copyright 1996, Marvel. That's all it says. Funny. Love it. All right, I have this little box of Crime Stoppers caps. Oh, and they're in there too. So you would put these like in a gun and it would like, a little thing would whack. So yeah, this paper has very small bits of fireworks, I guess you would call it, whereas something would hit it and it would make a loud like noise. It says, warning, do not fire closer than 1 foot to the ear. Do not fire indoors. These caps contain less than 20 gram per cap. 20 gram of what? Gunpowder? More warning, do not fire closer than 1 foot from the air. Do not put in pockets, lunch boxes, or use indoors. Caps for toy guns may be hazardous if misused. Use caps only with adult supervision. They don't sell these anymore, do they? Honestly, I was never big on cap guns as a kid. So I may have had one because I have the caps, but not really something I care a lot about. There's a lot of restrictions on there for something that just goes like... All right, we have another Guts soldier here. Guts, G-U-T-S. Still haven't figured out what it stands for. Let me know in the comments if you know. Or, I can look it up, but, it's fun to talk to people in the comments sometimes. It's copyright MI 1986. I think I had 1 package of Guts, maybe 2, but I think just one, and they all looked like this. This color scheme of army guy. Yep. Okay, this one's a repeat from an earlier video. I guess I had two of these. Little wind-up RC from Toy Story. So I won't get into him again, but cool. Fun character. Whoa, here we go. This is Milo, I think his name was, the dog from Jim Carrey's The Mask. Oh yeah, there he is. All right. Was this the Mask cartoon? Or the Mask movie? Because I think they made a cartoon based on it that I never saw. This looks very cartoony, but also could just be a representation for the sake of the toy. And then it's just got a mask. Oh yeah. Copyright in TM New Line, Production Inc., Stratman International Inc., made in China. So New Line Cinemas, who made the movie. It's just a head with, I guess, a pencil topper, maybe? That's kind of cool. The pencil topper has its own removable mask that's actually like it's kind of thick plastic and good quality. Milo the dog. My one memory of Milo, other than the fact that he did get the mask in the movie, spoilers, from a movie from the 90s, when Jim Carrey was in prison, and for some reason his dog was in the prison, and he was trying to get him to get the keys, to bring him the keys, and then Milo found like the guard's sandwich and brought him the cheese. It's like, not the cheese, Milo, the keys. That's very smart. It's a very smart dog. It's a good boy. Okay, here we go. It's Shredder. This is original Shredder toy. It's got the squishy head. That's from the first line of toys based on the first animated Ninja Turtle show. If I'm wrong on that, let me know, but because I'm not a scholar, as you know from watching this, I have limited knowledge on some of this stuff, but I don't remember there ever being Ninja Turtle toys or anything before the first animated show. And definitely like the first big popularity boom of the Ninja Turtles. They existed as comic book characters before that. But yeah, here we go. Orokusaki. That's a cool pose. They have him like hunched over, and I think it's funny that he has a bare chest and arms, but heavily armored head. And just for mobility reasons, an actual cloth cloak here. It's really cool. I don't know if he came with anything, a sword, maybe. Probably have it, maybe even in this bin, but I have to figure out which weapons go to which characters, because that's an issue. There are a lot of loose weapons usually at the bottom of these bins. This was like the baseline where they started with the quality, and I think that's a good place to start. And then, like I said, I think I said this in a previous video, the quality went up for a while after this in terms of sculpting and like the way these looked. But this is cool. Like, that's a good place to start. Yeah, the Shredder. I don't think in the original comics he was only around for like 1 or 2 issues. He wasn't a big deal. That they really expanded on it for the cartoon, and he became like the big bad, or kind of the big bad if you don't count Krang. Shredder. Okay, we have this little figurine. All Dogs Go to Heaven. I believe she was one of the main characters in that movie, which is I don't remember who made it. Is it like Don Bluth? It's not Disney. Let's see if it says. Copyright 1988 Gold Chest and Vending International. It's very small and hard to read, but what I got out of that was Gold Chest and Vending International. I think I've seen All Dogs Go to Heaven, but I was a child. I remember it being sad, as the name implies, because it's about pets and mortality. And most people with a heart and a soul, that's a trigger for them, and is definitely a trigger for me. I love animals, and thinking about them not being around is sad, you know. So, and they made a movie about it, a kid's movie, which, you know, that's fine. It's probably not a movie I ever need to see again, though. All Dogs Go to Heaven. But she's very cute. It's a cute character model. Okay, I have a little green army man here. This was like an actual one, not like a Toy Story one. These were hand-me-downs from my older siblings, but I would play with them quite a bit. Yeah, like I said, I've said in other videos that I don't love like realistic military toys. I understand, especially in the past, where that was a big thing, and there was definitely like a phase where that was, just like Westerns were a phase, army guys were a phase, you know, superheroes are a big thing now. Realistic army guys are not my favorite thing, but I do, you know, I appreciate them for what they are. Oh, things are about to get so much cooler. Oh, yes, look at that. These mirrored shades. I remember when I got these as a kid. Thought it was, I mean, you just think you're so cool when you have these. There are adults that buy stuff like this and they think they're so cool. And that all comes from being a kid. You can see my weird reflection in there. And the eagle-eyed people can see some stuff on my desk. Yeah. Whoa. Look, oh, there's my umbrella light. All right, they're not staying on that well because they're small for my big head. But we're going to go on. You know, I say anything I find in here that's wearable, I'm going to wear for at least a little bit. So here we go. I'm going to wear it for the next one, if they stay on. All right, here's a little floating clown head. These, I think, generally are made for cake toppers. I think that's what they are, made just to stick down into a cake. But they've just got that really old school clown, like 30s looking clown, 30s or 40s or 20s. I don't even know what year, 50s. You know, I just said half of a century's worth of decades in that sentence, but I remember being able to buy these. We had like a party store, kind of like a locally owned party store in my town. It's still there. And you could buy these up until at least, 10 years ago. They were still selling these. They must have just made a ton of them at some point. Or maybe they're still producing them because people like retro looking things. Some people are very afraid of clowns. I'm not. I used to call my my little illustration venture, I used to call it 25-foot clown. And people just, they're so weird about clowns to the point where I stopped calling myself that because I felt like 20% of people were automatically turned off. They wouldn't even want to look at what I had, even though I drew some clowns, but not. I mean, clowns were like, what, 5% of everything I drew? It's like, come look at my art, please. I'm trying to do something here. They're like, boo, clowns, I'm afraid of. It's like, okay, it's just, I'm just going to use my real name then because people don't like clowns. All right, that's my clown story. There he is. And these are coming off now. Things just got decidedly less cool now that I took them off. Hey, here we have a sword from Toledo. Oh, it's so cool. Like, this is real. It's tiny. It's a letter opener, but it's like, this is all real metal. It says Toledo right on the blade there. Got this cool scabbard. Really cool hilt. Not Toledo, Ohio. I'm guessing it's Toledo or Toledo, Spain. Are they known for steel? Spanish steel? That's a thing, isn't it? Spanish blades. Have no idea where this came from. To my knowledge, no one in my family, I've never been to Spain. No one in my family's ever been to Spain that I know of, except maybe my father when he was in the Navy. I don't think this is that old, though. I don't know. Interesting. Really cool. Like, quality craftsmanship. This is very old, and it's like in really nice condition. I guess the phrase, they don't make things like they used to, comes to mind. All right, cool. Here's a muscle. I was talking about, I still have them here. I was comparing Monster in my pocket to Muscle in the last video. So here's the comparison, the actual visual comparison. The original line of muscles were all like pink, and then they came out with different colored ones later on. And they're all numbered, they all have names, they have stories. Like, it's like a sort of intergalactic wrestling federation, kind of. I don't know a ton about it, and I actually would like to know more. I have a lot of muscles, and I don't know exactly where they are, but I will come across them and show them all. Hopefully find like a list so I can identify them for you and for me. I've never really known their names before, but this guy's just got like rollers. Like, he would just send another wrestler through and flatten them as they go through, which is just wonderful. Wrestling is so wacky and weird to begin with that why not go that next level and just have like completely fantasy-based wrestling federation. I would love to do that. Like, I'm a lifelong wrestling fan. I would love to be involved in a project like that. It would have to be animated, I guess. And you can't animate fast enough for it to be like a weekly show. I guess you could. I mean, there are weekly animated shows all the time, but they're made by gigantic crews of people. And I don't have those resources to hire them or gather them. I love them. That's small things that you can collect like that. Wrestlers, fantastical and science fiction based. Man, that gets me like, that's exactly how to speak to young Chris and adult Chris. Okay, I think we're going to end here for today. There's this little bobblehead from south of the border, which is in the United States. I believe it is, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it's in South Carolina. It's just south of the border between North and South Carolina. That's why it's called South of the Border. This just kind of roadside attraction. They have billboards for it going out hundreds of miles, I think. I remember seeing like 200 miles to south of the border, and then as you get closer, they get like more frequent. It's giant gift store, restaurants. I think they have like a petting zoo. It's a giant water tower with a sombrero on it. I'm sure it's some sort of entertainment. Just like a kind of a weird, tacky oasis when you're traveling. And as a kid, we would travel down to Florida, or I think Myrtle Beach. It might be on the way to, not positive on that one, but definitely on the way to Florida. We would pass by it, and we would stop there once in a while. I remember I have lots of bumper stickers from there because they were just kind of like, I think the small ones were free. Little tiny bumper stickers were free. And then the bigger ones were cheap. So I would just plunk down a couple bucks and then grab a handful of them. But yeah, it's still there. I'm not sure if it's what it used to be. Maybe it is. It's been many, many years since I've been by there. If you're traveling on the East Coast and you happen to see signs for south of the border and it's in your direction, just stop in, check it out. I feel like it's a bucket list type thing. It might not blow you away, but just say that you've been to south of the border is something you should do. That's my advice, at least. So yeah, lots of memories for something like this. Fun place, very brightly colored place. Yeah. And we're going to call it there for today. Still a lot more in there. Come back soon. I will keep plugging away on bin number 2. If you're enjoying these videos, I encourage you to subscribe. It helps me a lot. And I hope that you all have a wonderful day. And I will see you on the next dig. Bye.